Hello traders, Rich here, and here's a quick but detailed update on NZDJPY. As usual, if you guys like video analysis, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. So let's get started. As we clearly see, NZDJPY has been overall bearish for a while, making lower highs and lower lows, and we previously rejected this demand zone. We traded higher, and we are currently approaching a resistance zone and also a supply zone as we had an aggressive movement down from it. That's why as price approaches this area, we zoom into lower time frames to look for sell setups. If we zoom into H4, we can see the bearish trend even cleaner, low lows and lower highs, and price is currently approaching the upper bound. We are currently in a correction phase, waiting for the bears to take over again to catch the next impulse movement upward. However, we don't sell blindly, we always zoom into lower time frames for extra confirmation because NZDJPY can still trade higher to test this supply zone and resistance as mentioned from daily before we go lower or even break this resistance upward for it to become a support again. In this case, we'll be looking for buy setups. But let's take it step by step, right? Overall bearish, looking for sell setups. So let's zoom into lower time frames. If you zoom into H1 time frame, you can see that we are currently in this rising channel engulfing this correction phase, waiting for the sellers to take over. And as per my trading plan, I'll be waiting, for example, for a new swing low to form around the lower trend line to consider it my trigger swing. For those who know me, I always highlight it like this as my trigger, and when this happens and the sell is activated, the stop loss would be just above the previous swing high, and we target a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio to have an edge over the market from a risk management perspective, which would be around the lower support area. Meanwhile, until the sell is activated, until the bears take over, NZDJPY would be overall bullish and can still trade higher and higher before the sellers take over by breaking below the low or even, as mentioned from daily, break above the resistance and so on. Before we continue, I want to tell you about Tickmill. Tickmill is established in 2014 and is one of the leading Forex and CFD brokers with registered users from more than 200 different countries. Tickmill is a no-dealing desk and ECN broker regulated in many countries like the UK, Cyprus, and recently in South Africa. With Tickmill, you can trade a wide range of instruments, starting from Forex to indices, commodities, and even crypto. Most importantly, with very low spreads and trading fees. If you don't have an account yet, make sure to create one using my referral link in the description below to benefit from 5% discounts on your trading fees. And let's continue. As we clearly see, GBPCAD has been overall bearish for a while, making lower highs and lower lows. However, we are currently sitting around a very strong weekly support. We've got many rejections from it previously. That's why we are looking for buy setups on lower time frames. And of course, as price approaches the upper bound, this resistance area and supply zone, we'll be looking for trend following sell setups. But let's take it step by step, right? Around the support area, looking for buy setups unless the support is broken downward, then a movement till our next support zone would be expected around this area. Now, if we zoom into lower time frame to H4, we can see that we are currently bearish, as mentioned from daily, making lower highs and lower lows, waiting for the boost to take over before we buy. So as per my trading plan, I'll be waiting for a new swing high to form around the upper trend line to consider it valid, and my trigger swing, we also got a double bottom here, and that's our neckline in green. So this would be my trigger, and when the buy is activated, the stop loss would be just below the previous swing low, and we target a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio to have an edge over the market from a risk management perspective, which would be around the upper resistance area, where, as mentioned from daily, we'll be looking for sell setups. Meanwhile, until the buy is activated, until the bulls take over by breaking above this structure upward, GBPCAD can still break it downward to test the lower support area as mentioned from daily and weekly. Best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one.